Welcome everyone to This Week in PlayStation, your weekly look at all the new games on the PlayStation Network and the new trophy lists that have been revealed. Hope everyone's having a good week out there. Not a huge week as far as new games are concerned. Next week is a big one with Horizon Zero Dawn coming out on Tuesday, so a lot of people, of course, are excited about that, including myself. But there's a few games that could come out this week of note, including the new Musou game for Berserk, as well as a new Warhammer game. Actually, two new Warhammer games, one for 40k and one for Classic Warhammer, but we're getting into all of that. Anyway, so here we go. We're going to start off, like always, with the PlayStation Network itself, look over all the games that have been put up this week, and then we'll jump over the PSN profiles and look at all the new trophy lists that have come out, some of which are ones that are going to be, listed here as a trophy list. So it's weird with trophy lists. One thing I've noticed is sometimes we get the trophy list far in advance. I mean, weeks, months even, before the game actually comes out, and other times we don't get the trophy list for the game. It doesn't get added to the database or whatever until like right before the game releases. There's a few times now, being a game reviewer, where I'll get a game, I get it a few days early or whatever it may be, and the trophy lists aren't on there, so I'm like unlocking trophies, but I can't look at the trophy list because it's not on the database yet. So there's a lot of times where I'm like, I have no idea what the trophies are for this game, but I'm getting some random ones here and there, which is always interesting. But anyway, starting off this week was Ys Origin, and this is a 2006 action RPG. I've done a full review for it. Click the card. I always, from the last few weeks and from now on, I'll be adding cards at the spots in the videos where I actually am talking about what games I did reviews for this week. So if you're wondering which ones I did review, that'll be a good indicator, a little card thingy. I'm trying to utilize my YouTube assets to the best of my ability. But anyway, so Ys Origin is one of the games in the, obviously one of the games in the Ys series, but one of the ones that came out during the mid 2000s that included Ys 6, which I made a mistake and said it was similar to Ys 7 during my review. I meant Ys 6, which is Arc of Naf Tim or whatever it is. I know I'm saying that way wrong, but that was Ys 6, as well as the remake of Ys 3 known as Oath of Felghana. So if you've played either Oath of Felghana or Ys 6, it's very similar as far as gameplay design is concerned. Also different though from a lot of the other Ys games is it's all contained within one dungeon. It's all within this giant tower. And the tower changes up as far as like the setting and all as you're going up floor by floor by floor, but there's no towns to visit, there's no world map or anything like that, so it's very, very different. This remaster or whatever, this release basically, they didn't like upscale anything or make it full screen, unfortunately, and there's a little bit of issues with the cutscenes, but the core gameplay is still a lot of fun. If you like action RPGs, the Ys series is fantastic, and I highly recommend checking out Ys Origin. If you want to know more information, like I said, I did do a full review, but a great game. I really enjoyed playing it this week. Next up is a game I wanted to check out, but unfortunately the price tag wouldn't allow me to this week, and that is Warhammer Quest, which is a tactical strategy game in the classic Warhammer series. This one from Chilled Mouse, which is interesting that Chilled Mouse also did another game this week, which I was able, and I didn't realize they were also the publisher on that. That's interesting. But anyway, so it's a tactical strategy type of game. It's a little bit older. It's been a little bit since this one came out, and now it's being ported over the PS4. If you've messed with it yourself, let me know how it is, because I actually am interested. It's maybe one of those ones down the road that I end up checking out once it gets a little bit of a lower price. Next up is Vaccine, which thankfully they've added screenshots and a trailer. At first, when this game launched, they didn't have anything on the PSN from some people that commented on my video. This is another one I did a review for. As you can see, this game is very much seeping out of everything, old school PS1 era survival horror games, and basically in it, it's all a time limit type of thing. You have this house, it changes randomly every time you boot up. And basically you have to find a vaccine for your partner. There's two playable characters. Whoever you don't pick is infected. Find the vaccine, take it back to them, and then you rank up. Basically, whatever. They have all the rankings are named after different animals or whatever. And then you have to do this thing again, but you have a less amount of time to do it. So, you'll start with 30 minutes, and then it's 20 minutes, and then it's 10 minutes. Then it's 9:30, then it's 9, and then 8:30, and then 8. I think 8 was the lowest, maybe 730 was the lowest, I couldn't remember. The game glitched out on me on multiple occasions during the course of me playing it. There has been a patch put up since, so if you watch my review, keep in mind they have thankfully already either worked on or have patched some of the stuff. I haven't messed with it since, so I can't confirm, but basically, it's like one and done. So if you die during the course of it, even if you're on the final rank, if you die, you go all the way back to the first rank and have to do it all over again. There's a level up system for experience, which actually makes the game pretty easy and broken, honestly, because once you level up the harder things, even though you have less time, you'll have a ton of ammo and be able to one-shot pretty much every creature that comes your way. There's also a very big lack of variety as far as the creatures. There's 3 enemy types for, like, there's 5 enemy types total, but 2 of them, one's a bat and one's a rat. And then the other 3 are like a normal zombie, liquor-esque crawling dude, and then like a big dude that you have to kill before you can get the vaccine. But next up is Typo Man Revised, even though it just says Typo Man here, you can see in the thing it's Typo Man Revised, which is a slightly changed up version. I think maybe they added the minigames to it is what made it revised, though I'm not positive. Surprisingly, does have a platinum. East Origin does have a plat, and Vaccine does not have a platinum, just to keep up with everything. I think Warhammer Quest does, though. We looked at that last week. I can't remember, though. But anyway, Typo Man does actually have a platinum. One of the trophies is glitched, though, from somebody commented that one of the trophies is glitched, but the publisher developer does know about it, and supposedly they're going to be working on a patch. Hopefully they do. There's a lot of times where these games are broken out the gate as far as a trophy is concerned, and they never fix it, which is always disheartening. Like, for example, was it Clan or Clash of the Seven God Hands? A game I played months and months ago, like last year sometime. It's very much like a Ghosts and Goblins type game. There's a trophy in it that's been glitched since and has never been patched, which was very disheartening because I really liked the game. And like it was a trophy for beating it on the old school difficulty mode, and I did it. And it didn't unlock, and I was just, oh, that is like the worst feeling ever. But Typo Man is a fun, gloomy platformer that uses, obviously you can see words and letters to do everything. So for example, in this picture right here, you can see it has rain. What you have to do is rearrange the letters, get the letters together, and then spell the word drain. And thus it will get rid of the rain cloud and get rid of the water, so then you can cross because you can't swim. And stuff like that. The whole game is based around things like that. And it's actually pretty fun and cool that way. A little bit like Scribblenauts, but you don't have quite as much like freedom in a game like Scribblenauts, which, God, I would love a new Scribblenauts game. My brain's all over the place today, as you can clearly tell. And no, I just had a cup of coffee, so that is about all I'm running on at this point. But anyway, yeah, Typo Man's pretty cool. It's pretty short, though. It took me about 2.5, 3 hours in order to beat it on my initial playthrough, though there is the 2 minigames as well added to it, which will add a little bit of time to your play. Next up is Toki Tori 2 Plus. I don't know if this just got released digitally here. It does have a physical copy. It was one of those games that was in Europe for a long time as a physical copy that we hadn't seen, but I know there's also a North American release physical copy of it, so I don't know if this is a re-release, or maybe it just wasn't on here digitally, which would have been really weird. It's a fun little puzzle game that I actually played the original Toki Tori, I think on Game Boy Color. It was Game Boy Color or Game Boy Advance. I played the original one. But basically you're playing as the little chicken guy here, and you have to, figure out how to get through puzzles and get around enemies, and, you're pretty defenseless. It's very challenging, though. It does put your skills to the test as far as being able to figure out everything. I haven't played Toki Tori 2, but if it's anything like the original, then I'm sure it's a lot of fun. And there's a pack here for 2 tribes, which is the developer, and anyway, or publisher. Anyway, it takes Rive and Toki Tori. I've done a review for Rive if you want to see that. That was actually a really cool little game where you play as like this tank, like kind of like a little bit like a Blaster Master-esque thing. You can get out of the tank as well and aim all around. Lots of action, some difficult bosses. Relatively short, but still a really cool game. So it's one of those ones to be that's not a terrible pack together, but obviously price point a little bit lower. I could definitely recommend it. Smite Season 4 season ticket. I'm not into the MOBAs, but I'm sure some people are interested in that. Next up is Psychonauts in the Rhombus of Ruin, which is the VR Psychonauts game. Very easy, 100%, no platinum involved from it. I don't have VR, so obviously I haven't checked it out. I liked Psychonauts a lot. I have a lot of friends who love Psychonauts. It's one of like their favorite games of all time. I'm looking forward to Psychonauts 2. Like, that's what I want. That's what I'm waiting to get my hands on. So, anyway, so Psychonauts, Rhombus of Ruin. If you've messed with it yourself, with the VR and all, let me know, how is it? Like, is it worth actually checking out or not? You know, if I got a VR, should I go ahead and get it? Next up is a game that's gotten a little bit of buzz, a little bit of indie buzz, and that is Night in the Woods. This is an adventure game that you can see has a lot of anthropomorphic animals, so obviously it appeals to that crowd. So a lot of people have been talking about it. I have some friends that have been interested, including another YouTuber that I know did at least one video on it. So it looks kind of cool. I like the graphic style of it. I wanted to check it out myself. Haven't yet, though, just with the price point. But this is one I'm going to keep my eye on. If you've messed with Night in the Woods, let me know one of two things. Number one, is it actually cool? And number two, how is the trophies looking? Because it does actually have a platinum, which is surprising. Next up is Mervilles, a VR adventure, another VR title, which does not look all that impressive, graphically. Maybe it is a lot of fun. That's a pretty shot, though. That's a really pretty shot. But other than that, it just looks kind of average. Nothing too spectacular stands out, but unfortunately, being a VR title, obviously I won't be checking it out myself. But once again, if you messed with it, let me know. Next up is Malicious Fallen, Deluxe Edition and Regular. What's the difference with the Deluxe Edition? Malicious Fallen game, the dynamic theme, soundtrack, avatars. So really, I guess master the man, blah, blah, blah. That's part of the game itself. So I don't know. That doesn't seem like necessarily worth an extra $10 to me, but I guess some people may be interested. Malicious Fallen is basically a remaster / sequel to the other two Malicious games. We watched the trailer on this a few weeks ago. It is an action hack and slash game. And basically this version contains all the levels from the first two Malicious games and new ones. So it's like the finale, as you can see, the thrilling finale of the Malicious saga. So it adds new levels, plus it's on PS4. The first two were on PS3, maybe Vita as well. So there's that. Next up is the puzzle game, I think? Is it a puzzle game? Simulation game. It's just simulation. Open world. Now, I thought it was a puzzle game when I first saw it. It's cute. It's definitely cute. Look at that. Clouds and Sheep 2. Another game that I was looking at. Interesting. I do like the graphic style in it. And apparently you raise sheep and turn... I guess you're supposed to get them to turn into clouds? I don't know, like, exactly how all that works. It seems very simplistic. Potentially. I don't know if it was a mobile game or not. I don't want to accuse it if it isn't. But that's what it kind of looks like to me. It could easily be something like that. But a very cute graphic style on this. I guess you raise sheep and then... I know you can turn them into clouds. I know that's a thing. Next up is a game, another one I did review this week in Chime Sharp. This is a puzzle game, like I said, also from Chilled Mouse. Like the Warhammer one. That's why I was like, oh, I didn't realize they put out 2 games this week. But anyway, it's the cool thing about Chime Sharp is it's all about the music. The music plays, and as the heartbeat meter, as the the rhythm goes by every time, it picks up on the things you've placed on each of the playing boards, and the music changes up due to that, like bringing in more instruments or speeds up and all that kind of cool stuff. And that just brings you into it a little bit more. Your goal is to cover as much of the space as you possibly can, creating these blocks known as quads, 3x3 grids. And then you can grow the quad even bigger and get more points, more combos, and that like. And your goal is, of course, to see how high of a score you can get and cover as much of the space as you want. It's pretty fun. Not going to break the bank. It does actually have a platinum, so that's another little plus towards it. Next up is Berserk and the Band of the Hawk. This is the new Tecmo Koei game that is based on Berserk, the new Musou game. If you're unfamiliar with those, the Dynasty Warriors. They've become like their own genre of games because there's so many, and I really want to check this one out. I could not with the, this is one of those ones I will definitely be buying down the road when I can get it for a little bit lower of a price. And I'm sure one day it will, and then at that point I will definitely be checking it out. DLC though, interesting costume DLC for stuff. But Berserk is an awesome manga and awesome anime. I know they've redone the anime, or there's a newer version of the anime. I haven't seen the newer one, I've only seen the classic. But anyway, so if you mess with it, let me know how it stacks up compared to other Mushu games, as it does the Berserk license well, all that good stuff. The Tom Clancy Ghost Recon Wildlands open beta is going on this weekend, so I'm sure a lot of people are going to be messing with that. We also got Neo Turf Masters. This is another one of the SNK arcade titles that is now on the PlayStation. This is one of those arcade archives. This is a really fun arcade golf game. Like, I actually really like this one. And only issue is, of course, the trophy lists are garbage in the arcade archives games, and they're still a little bit pricey. Like, I wish they were either had a better trophy list or were a little bit cheaper. It could really, make me want to go ahead and pick it up. But fun little golf game if you've never messed with it. Next up is Warhammer 40k Deathwatch. This is obviously a Warhammer-based game. Single-player campaign, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to read the... like I said before, we've talked about Warhammer before on the show, and I'm not, into it as much. I have friends that are. I know of the races, and I know of all that. We looked at the trophy list last week, and a lot of it has to do with, the Space Marines versus the Tyranids, which the Tyranids are very much like the Xenomorph-esque aliens. I don't know if they've changed them in appearance much, but that's the original Tyranids that I really remember, very Xenomorph-esque. But yeah, so it looks kind of cool. If you've messed with this one, let me know, of course, what you've been thinking of it, because it does seem pretty interesting, but a little bit of a high price, especially for my budget at the moment. So that's why I didn't get a chance to mess with it or anything yet. Next up is a game I almost bought, but once it just ended up picking up, I had some of the other ones to deal with this week, and that is a Pixel Story. Obviously a pixel-based platformer. This one you go through the history of gaming. We've seen a few other platformers like that. It actually has a platinum, which is really cool. That's another little added bonus to it. Obviously, if you're not into the retro style of things, you're not going to like it, but it looks like a really fun, well-made, pixel-based retro style platformer instead of these ones that are just kind of thrown together half-assed, basically. But this one actually looks like it's well done. So one I will be checking out, especially if I can get, it goes on sale, or it was a PS Plus game or something like that. Will for sure be looking at that. And last but not least is ADK Damashi, and this is a compilation from SNK of a few games in one. No platinum involved again, boo. But it has four or five playable games. Let's see exactly. There you go. That name, whatever that is. Yeah. The Ninja Masters that, Ninja Combat, Ninja Commando, and the biggest one probably for some people in here is Twinkle Star Sprites, which is a you can say competitive scrolling shooter, but it's a shoot 'em up. You can expect with that kind of name, where you're on one person's on one side, one person on the other, and they're both going vertically up the screen battling. It's a really fun game, but every version of Twinkle Star Sprites is rare. It's hard to get a hold of. So this compilation is not bad because of the price point considering everything. I still wish it was a little bit cheaper considering it does not have the platinum, but it is 5 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 games in one. And Twinkle Star Sprites for me alone would be kind of worth it. The other ones look kind of cool though. The action, the beat 'em up style game, and all. I wish it was a little bit cheaper. In fact, I probably would buy this right now and play with my friends tonight on my stream, just because it looks like it's potentially fun. I don't know. Maybe I'll bite the bullet and check it out just because I kind of want to. I haven't played Twinkle Star Sprite in absolutely forever. So anyway. A little bit pricey, though. So that is everything on PSN. Next week is, of course, Horizon Zero Dawn. There's a few other things coming out, I'm sure, independent-wise next week. I'll be checking out, of course. Okay, so now let's go ahead and jump over to PSN profiles. Good old PSN profiles. We left off last week at Headbutt Factory, so we're going to start off with Tango Fiesta. This is an action shoot-'em-up, obviously, as you can tell just by that amazing art right there. Game over, man. Game over. Great name, of course, for a trophy. But that's the platinum. Deal with the Choppa instead of get to the Choppa, of course. Die Hard reference, Bloodsport reference, bunch of references here to action movies and stuff like that. Achieve a body count of 199 in a single world. Complete the game in a rerun. Kill 1,987 bad guys with Bionic Cop. Obviously, that's a reference to RoboCop, so I'm going to guess, I don't look it up, that 1987 was the year that RoboCop ended up coming out. So there's that. So yeah, Tango Fiesta. We're going to take a little brief look here at the trailer for Tango Fiesta. There we go.
Hollywood thought they could make the world forget him. They were dead wrong. Tango Fiesta!
This is one of those games that is definitely trying to be like, action. I do like there's multiple playable characters, though. Has that little bit of Broforce. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Broforce, but it's top-down instead of 2D side-scroller. But looks like it's a lot of potential fun included in this one. I don't know how difficult, of course, getting the trophies are, though, but the fact that it does have the plot is at least intriguing enough. It's one of those ones, if it's not too expensive, it may be worth giving a look to, especially if you have a friend to check it out with, and you can play up to 4 players at once. So that's pretty cool as well. that name alone, just in them saying it. So there's that. Next up is Night in the Woods. Talked about that earlier. So here's the trophy list. No one has the platinum yet. 115 people have checked it out. So and that's actually relatively high for indie titles half the time on PSN profiles. A lot of these games I'll be like, I did a review for it and I'll check it out. I'll be like, 10 people have played it thus far. So there's a few here, a lot of ones that people haven't gotten yet. Well, that was weird. Again, that was weird. As long as it will. 4 strings and the spite to use them. So it's probably one of those ones where maybe with a guide, it may be an easier one. All sketches, we made the game and have gotten this. Wow. So yeah, a little bit, like the descriptions are going to be a little bit tough, of course, to tell. If you've been messing with the game, let me know. But it may be one of those ones where either... I hope there's so many of them that people haven't gotten. I don't think they're all glitched. But it's probably one of those deals where people just haven't quite figured out how to get them. Especially with some of these descriptions, it'd be hard to know exactly what's going on in it. So, but really cool game, very stylized. So, there's that. Next up is the Pixel Story, which we talked about. You can see no one's gotten the platinum yet, but only 8 owners thus far. So I was talking about, like, there's some indie games that no one ends up checking out. So it's a really... such a low amount. Unless it was like 8 owners and then 100% where everyone's gotten the platinum so far, then you could easily tell, okay, it's probably a pretty easy platinum. But it's impossible to tell with such a low amount of people. There's a few people haven't gotten, including beating the lab. So that means people haven't even beaten the game yet. Complete any challenge room. Discover a secret identity of a character. Help Gus the Mushroom and then score 400 or more in his game. That sounds interesting. Return to the Bayou and witness the glorious end of Great Mech. I was going to say merch. I don't know why merch, but Great Mech. Locate and destroy all 6 miniature castles hidden throughout the system. Free the system faster than the devs ever did. So there's a speed run one. Complete the challenge room death run. That's probably pretty challenging. And you can see a lot of these people haven't messed with yet. So this is one to keep a little bit of an eye on. Though with a few of the ways those are listed, it may be a lot more challenging than I necessarily originally thought. Next up is Merville's, a VR adventure. We talked about this. Completing each of the worlds. Up to 4 worlds. Find all the hidden areas. Defeat the boss. And collect all the pages. So, since there 12.5% of people, 8 people have played it so far. That picture, though, man. That right there. That just creeps me out. But clearly a pretty easy 100%, I want to say. Like, you put a little bit of effort in it, you're probably going to get the 100% in it. Too bad they didn't put a plat. I bet you a lot of people would have ended up checking it out that way. Next up is the East Origin. This does have a plat. It's difficult, though, because you have to beat the game on Nightmare and beat the boss rush on Nightmare. Challenging stuff, including the arena on Nightmare. Stuff like this, like give the Rotafruit to all the Roos. That was easy to do. Beating the game with each character on normal. Unlock the hidden character. Beating the game on easy and very easy. Though, interestingly enough, they don't stack, which is a disappointment, because if you beat it on easy, you do not get the trophy for beating it on very easy. In fact, very easy, I don't even think selectable, so my guess is to get very easy, because you have to die a bunch, and then it probably gives you the option to be like, hey, you're playing on easy, but you're dying, you want to go to the very easy. And that's the only thing I can think of. Is you can see very few people, like probably one person has it, though. And you can see a lot of people, though, have checked it out, which is cool. I'm glad to see that. I'm a big fan of this series, so I'm glad to at least see a higher number than I'm seeing on most of the other games released this week so far. Next up is Chime Sharp, which 25 people have actually messed with. I've been enjoying it, but I've only gotten a handful of trophies so far. Like, there's a decently easy gold one. Create a quad is the full. No, that's a tough one. Make the entire grid like one. Well, for some people it's really easy. If you're really good at mixing shapes and putting them together, a relatively easy probably thing to do. Create 1,000 perfect quads. Complete all songs on all modes. Every song has 5 modes to it. I don't know if practice mode counts. Like, you actually have to play practice mode, because that's one of the 5 modes. So there you go. Interesting, no one has gotten the plat yet, but a few people have gotten some of the stuff, including 44% for the one guy, so you can see me, I'm at 26%. I got like 4 or 5 trophies while playing. Next up is Bike Rider VR. I can only imagine how bad this is going to be. Travel a certain amount of distance, travel over a certain amount in one run, travel over a certain amount in one run, pushed off over 500 hindrance characters. Total travel, yeah, 1 million. Yeah, it just seems like it's a little bit of a time. Complete all trophy. Oh, this okay. This bothers me too. I don't know if it bothers any other trophy hunters out there, or gamers in general, but you're not going to give us a platinum, but then you have a trophy for getting all the other trophies. So there's a gold trophy for getting all the other trophies involved in the game. Why not just give us the platinum then? At that point, like, you're literally giving up and giving a trophy for getting all of them. That's a platinum trophy there. So, bad move. Rage. Not really, but... next up is Dear God. This is another list for Dear God. It's supposed to be coming out. We looked at a trailer for this over a month ago. Was the first trophy list we saw for it, including beating all the bosses and doing all the stuff. I was happy that it has the plat. Want to check it out. Dear God, though, looks pretty cool. Check out the trailer if you haven't. Like I said, we talked about it and looked it up in the past. Next up is whatever this is. Looks like some kind of mech guy. Of course, my translator. Where's my translator? There we go. Google Translate. Translate this page. You used to do it auto. Damascus Gear Tokyo Hajimesen HD Edition Trophies. Beat all missions with an S rank. Cleared the first mission. Cleared the credits. That's a tough one. Get all the parts. Won a clear rank S in all missions. Get all S ranks. Won a clear rank S. So clear. There's 2 different. Apparently I guess people that like this kind of game, this one person, man, must be really good at it. Because they have the 71%. And got all the parts. So this is a Japanese list. My guess is it's some kind of shooter. My guess. This is another one of the big releases that's coming out very soon here in North America. It's out this week in Japan. In fact, it came out yesterday, I think, in Japan. And that is Nier Automata. I know a lot of people are really hyped for this one. It's not one I'm probably going to be checking out, at least not at launch. The fact that somebody already has the platinum, that's pretty cool. Watch someone die. I hope there's not too much spoiler here, probably, with this. Completing first quest, complete all 80% of quests. Maybe not all quests you have to do. Trying to see if there's one for clearing all quests. I don't see one. 80% of quests, though. 80% of archives found. 80% of unit data. 80% of chips collected. All weapon upgrades. All pods upgraded. Play your first hacking game. All pods found. At least 100,000 gold in your possession. 1 hour played with 9S in a certain state. All endings achieved. Wow, that's a bronze. Getting all endings is a bronze. Oof. Not many golds here, though. There's only 2 golds. The gold for viewing the final credits. That's a good one, though. At least that's a gold. Though I think like all endings should be a gold. And then a meal destroyed. I don't know who that is. But probably either the end boss, a certain boss, or a bonus boss. Probably pretty good guesses there. Next up is Super Robot Wars 5. This is coming to North America at some point. It's coming out. It just came out, or is out. Yeah, it just came out in Japan. The Super Robot Wars series is a series of, obviously, Robot War Japanese titles. We don't see many of these in North America. They're kind of like compilation games, like your Project X Zone and your Marvel vs. SNK or Capcom vs. SNK or those kind of things. Except in Super Robot Wars, it's a bunch of the mech-based animes and manga and all that kind of stuff from Gundam and Patlabor and Nadesco is included. Rory? It's been so long since I watched Martian Successor Nadesco, but Rory is in it and she's awesome because she's old school waifu for me. It's been so long since I watched it. I still have the DVDs, I think I bought at a convention many moons ago. But yeah, so this is supposedly coming to North America, though, and this is an English list. This wasn't translated. This is the English trophy list, so clearly there must be a thing coming out for this. Looks relatively challenging to collect with all those people that own it, and most of these trophies haven't been gotten yet. So probably lengthy. A lot of the bronze ones have been gotten, though, completing Chapter 1, maxing out certain pilots' EXC, whatever that is. Trying to see which ones are going to be probably these, obviously. Obtain 51 SR points. Purchase all power parts. Collect 5 emblems. Achieve the ending of both male and female protagonists. So you gotta beat the game twice, I assume, for that one. Cool to see that's potentially coming here, though. That's the cool part. Next up is Timepiece Assemble. This is a Vita title. Go ahead and translate this one up. Went into each route. Visual novel. Listen to all the background music. Usually when I see that stuff, that screams visual novel. So thank you, happy brother. So is this a dating sim game where you and a bunch of sisters, just like sister, or not sister, what is it? Sister Princess. Sister is the damn fucking Maori Sisters show from sitcom from the 90s. No, Sister Princess was the anime where he dated all his sisters. God, look at those references being pulled out. But that's immediately when I see something like that. I also love Brother, so yeah, like, anyway. If this is a series that's long running, or something, let me know more about it. Is it an anime? Is it a manga? Is it just a visual novel? Is it a pizza? I don't know. Let me know more about that one. Next up is Biggity Bop Biggity Bop for the Vita. I apologize because I cannot read. Haru Kanaru Toki no Naka D3 Ultimate. Clearing each chapter, Evil Spirit was defeated 100 times. Haste was out 100 times. To not flow the staff roll, only completed clears the ending. Ending is displayed. Clears the ending. Ending is displayed. To not flow the staff roll was a clear calming ending. Clears the common Sakuya ending. The ending of Arakawa Hatashian was one clear. I'm not pronouncing shit soon. I can read the word shit. It was in the word. It's not a curse. It was in the word. Different endings for all the characters. More characters. Collection of all the corporation skills? Cooperation skills would be the word that I'm trying to say. My brain, I don't know what's going on today. I don't know. Hopefully somebody finds this somewhat entertaining. More than likely, I'll get a comment though. You're annoying. You're annoying. I get that all the time though, because I am. But anyway, next up is an Arcade Archives for Sengoku. Here's my weekly rant on Arcade Archives, because we get one every week, either a new game, like talked about Neo Turf Masters. But this is, if you don't, for some reason, if you're new and you haven't seen these Arcade Archives lists, these trophy lists suck. Look at that trophy list. That stinks. They always cost $7.99. Overly priced, no platinums, not even a decent trophy list for 100%. I would love to play more. I would love to check out some of these, especially a lot of these Japanese-only arcade titles, but it's just not worth the price point, especially if there's not, like, the reward of at least a platinum. I mean, God, they would pull in so much bank if they had an easy platinums. Like, they just would pull in so much. I don't know why they don't do that. Witch and the 100 Night 2. I did not even know they were making a sequel to this game. So that's really cool to see. Coming out, it just came out this week in Japan. So I assume that'll probably come here to North America at some point down the road. So that's cool that got a sequel. I'm sure fans already knew about that, but I didn't. Create armor level 99. Create a weapon level 99. Trying to look at the golds. There we go. Bad ending. Wow. The true ending and the normal ending are silvers. The bad ending is a gold. Defeated certain characters. So I assume the bosses probably of the game, since they are bronze. A lot of people have started to get them already. Was defeated. Not sure, with streets. With the Street of the Violence. With the Street of Lion God. Maybe that's a certain move you have to do against the boss, or that's just defeating certain bosses still. Defeated the rare Pinata. Sweet. Pinatas are involved. But anyway, Witch in the 100 Night is a dungeon crawling-esque game. It is on PS3 and PS4. The PS3 version came out first, which I bought, and then later on had to rebuy it, and then the PS4. But next up is Island. This is obviously a Japanese Vita title. Certain endings. Clear certain ending. More endings. All background music. All CG. Movie complete. Ending complete. Visual novel called Island. That doesn't look like island or beach weather, though. Maybe it's a game about being shipwrecked. And dating sim type, visual novel with as a shipwreck thing. I don't know anything else about it. Maybe it's based on something. Let me know. Here's ADK Damashi, which we talked about earlier. You can see there's certain trophies for each of the games involved, but and all bronze too. Not even a silver or a gold, which is also disappointing. But there you go. Twinkle Star Sprites, Ninja Master, Ninja Combat, Aggressors of Dark Combat, and Ninja Commando. So there you go. Clear the story mode. Score a perfect chain within fever status. So really fun. I actually probably am going to end up checking this one out, because it does look kind of fun, and I want to play a few of the games in here. So there you go. Getting near the end here. Next up is the Vita list for Gem Smashers, which is also on PS4, but it hasn't come out yet. From what I know, maybe it's out. Maybe it's about to come out, because obviously there's 5 game owners. So my guess is that is either developers or that is reviewers, not including myself. So anyway, more trophies for Gem Smasher, including that platinum, smashing 5 gems in a row, don't lose any life for 3 levels. A lot of these trophies are already gotten, but one, complete the single player story and save the world. I don't know if that's the only one not gotten by the few people that have been playing, really. So, relatively easy trophy list, once again. I've been wanting to mess with Gem Smashers on the PS4. Here's the trophy list for Warhammer 40k Deathwatch, which talked about earlier. Beating a mission on Veteran or Heroic. A lot of silvers. So beating just a mission on Veteran or Heroic without taking damage. And then beat a Heroic mission without dying. So both of those, you can do one Heroic mission without getting hit, if that was somehow possible, and you would get that. Collect all the different Space Marines war gears for each type of Space Marine. Collect all non-weapon war gear. Collect all the weapons. Collect all the purity seals. Collect all this. Collect all that. Bolt weapons, plasma weapons, flame weapons, melta weapons. Complete longest day without triggering any mines. Clear that special mission. Get up to level 50. Raise up critical to 50%, raise a Space Marine's health to 400, kill one of each large Tyranid, and kill 40,000 Tyranids. I think we looked at that list, though, before. Maybe it was the other version of the list we looked at. Wonder Boy Returns is coming to North America. It's already out on Steam. It's out in Hong Kong for PS4, but now it's coming here. No Platinum, but you do get the trophies for Hell Mode, all doll collecting clear, Challenge Mode clear, Hell Mode doll collection. It looks like a really fun reimagining of Wonder Boy. I like the graphic style. There's some new there's a lot of bosses thrown in, including a polar bear and a Speedo, which made me laugh out loud the first time I watched the trailer. So I'm just happy to see that that's actually coming here to North America. The trophy list for Berserk and the Band of the Hawk is out, of course, including completing each of the story modes. A lot of story modes. Delved 100 layers into Endless Eclipse. So, woo. So that's, yeah, that's probably pretty challenging. Fulfilled 100% of the desires in the Endless Eclipse mode. No one's done that one yet, so that must be a really challenging one. Collect all the background music. Collect all the war horses. Collect all portable items. Collect all accessories. Gallery achievement. Defeat 100 enemies at once in Frenzy mode. Total number of enemies has been defeat 100,000 total enemies. Rescue the different characters. Defeat 1,000 enemies in one battle as that character. Wild. I don't really remember Wild. Won more than 50 battles together with Puck. And defeated all of the large apostles on Berserk difficulty. So that's another pretty challenging one, but someone has at least accomplished that. So looks like a relatively challenging trophy list, that is for sure. And then last but not least is Death Squared. Die a lot. Die 100 times, die 250 times, die 999 times, complete 60 story levels, beat the story mode, beat party levels, complete 10 party levels, finish the party, complete 9 levels in a row without dying, find skip the intro, that hard work wasted, I love it, make all 4 players die at once, make all 4 players dance at once. Customized your bot, so you may need 4 controllers for that, which is, only thing that stinks. But anyway, we are going to look at the trailer for Death Square. I know not a lot of trailers this week, I apologize. It was a bunch of ones were games that were already either out or we've looked at before, so that's the reason why there wasn't as many trailers this week. But this looks like a really fun multiplayer game where you have to guide all the characters. Maybe it's 2-player, and no, there's 4, because there's a green and a yellow, so... Yeah, as you can see, you have to figure out how to get each of the characters through it and work together and all. So it looks like potentially a lot of fun. As a co-op game. So I'm looking forward to it. It's coming out in the middle of March. I'm going to say May for some reason. Middle of March, I'm getting ahead of myself. So there you go. That is Death Squared. And yeah, that is everything for this week in PlayStation. Thank you all so much for being a part of this video and watching it and enjoying it. If you do enjoy this series, be sure to let me know. Thumbs it up, all that good fun stuff. The more views, the more I know. Last week's video didn't do all that well. Maybe just people didn't miss it. Maybe it just was a boring week. I don't know. You always, as a YouTube creator, I see a video, I go up and it's like, why didn't it do anything when the week before it done well? So I get paranoid very easily. And then I have lots of anxiety because I am an anxiety-ridden mess. Like always. But anyway, thank you all, though. Seriously, though, thanks for watching, checking out all that stuff. I'll be back next week. Plenty of new reviews and stuff to look at. If you're wondering about East Origin, I know people aren't going to watch this until the end, but if you did, there is a physical copy of East Origin coming for the Asian territory, the Hong Kong region, all languages, or whatever it may be. They are getting a physical release from Play Asia. You can get it now, or pre-order it now. So there is a physical release for East Origin coming, but not in North America, at least not yet. Anyway, guys, have a great week. I'll see you next week. See ya.